Hello, everyone. Listening to HeartsChat, where we speak from the heart. I'm Erica.
I'm Akila.
I'm Nicole.
Welcome to HeartsChat. All right, so tonight we're going to be talking about what to do and what not to do when you find out that your loved one or somebody close to you is diagnosed with a mental diagnosis. So, yeah, heavy.
None light, right?
So before we get into that, how are we doing?
Good. I mean, I think I'm being more consistent with my exercising practices.
Nice. You know what? You were texting me, you were exercising, and I told her, I was like, Akila, because you know she always tells us she hates exercise and she don't work out. I'm like, look at your body, though. Like, what are you talking about? I said, oh, so all this time you've been like a secret gym rat. You've really been working all this time. You've just been lying to us.
No, it's a struggle. It's a struggle.
Because how else do you explain this?
That's what I'm saying. I never know.
I don't know. It's a struggle for me to do things. Like, I really try to do all those challenges because I like to get hype.
Yeah.
But I know I'm learning myself more through like all these different things I'm doing. It's like I can't like do watch videos for more than 15 minutes or you lose me. I can't do it. So now I just go YouTube 15-minute yoga practices and I'm good. So anything longer, I can't do it.
Well, that's nice. That's nice to know.
It's good to know yourself and get to know yourself.
Exactly. Yeah. If I'm at the gym with somebody, that's a little bit different because I'm talking, doing things. Like, but other than that, I'm learning. I think if anything, I'm learning about myself more.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, look at this little journal thing.
Yeah. Your grandma would be so proud. Maybe. She was like, I finally got one.
I did it.
I knew I'd get you eventually.
Yes, Akila. Okay,
what about you guys?
Well, I've been doing this work training. At work, I was given an opportunity to do this, get a trauma-focused CBT certification.
Okay.
So I've been doing that.
When you come work at your job, man.
Right, that's what I say.
You do everything to help y'all and to like...
Well, I'm here. I mean, here and there.
Good.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I'm excited about that because it wasn't something I was like, you know, I use it, you know, at work, but it was nothing that I thought, let me go to this training. I didn't know, you know, I just didn't think about it. So I was happy when the opportunity presented itself because I always find, because there was a part you had to fill out, why do you want to do this? And I thought, well, I like trauma, but I do not want to write on this paper, I like trauma. I enjoy trauma. You know, I want to put that down because it's like not fun things to hear about. No. It's just something I think I'm good at. And I enjoy helping with it. But
you enjoy trauma.
Yeah.
You enjoy the results of helping someone who's been through trauma.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like trauma.
Yeah, I enjoy doing trauma because it's like you hear all these bad things. I'm not enjoying hearing these things. It's just like the actual process and the work, you know.
And
I'm
seeing the people.
Yeah. So, so that's something with me. It's work related this time.
Okay.
What about you, Nicole?
I guess I'll go work related too. I'm like a couple steps closer to getting my own practice. Everything's kind of done. We've been talking to like accountants. It's hard to open up a business. This stuff is complicated. They like set it up for you to fail and they can put you in jail for fraud just because you didn't know what you were doing.
Right.
But it's hard. But all I need is a place. Been seeing things and trying to get the best like type of area for what you're gonna pay rent for, and also like location and you know. So that's my thing. That's my journey. Trying to focus on that in my free time. Trying every time on my free time to look up offices.
Yeah.
It's hard. So I'm just like, it's gonna be late.
Where are you looking?
Northeast Philadelphia and Bensalem.
Okay, that's right. I think I asked you that before.
Yeah. So
very nice.
Areas.
All right.
So we all had something productive to say that we're doing, and things that make us feel good. So all right. So speaking of more work related stuff, as we know, we're gonna talk about what to do when you find out that your loved one or somebody really close to you has a mental diagnosis. So what do you do? How do you go about that? What do you think? Because I think it can, it's a double-edged sword. I guess it's not a double-edged sword. It's a gift and a curse. It's more like a gift and a curse. Because, maybe you didn't know. Because it depends on your situation. Everybody has a different situation. Yeah. You could be in one situation where, you've gone from place to place to place, and everybody says, I don't know, we don't know what it is. It could be this, it could be that. Or they say it's this, and they give you medication for that, and it's not, and it doesn't work. And you're like, well, I thought you said this is what it was, and you go somewhere else. Oh, no, it's actually this. And you get medication, if that's what you need, and it does work. And you're like, okay. So now you finally know. So you're like, okay, yeah, now we know what it is, which can be a good thing. But then depending on what the diagnosis is, it can also be very troublesome.
Yep.
You know, it might turn out to be something bigger than you thought it was, or, you know, that you were hoping that it was going to be.
And then the stigma that comes with whatever it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like you find, sometimes you finally have an explanation for what's been going on with this loved one or family member or friend for, you know, forever. And you're like, this explains it. But then if it's not what you expected, and then all of a sudden you get, you know, diagnosed with something, you know, it could turn bad. It could be like, well, now I'm going to play into this behavior.
Yep.
Or it just is scary to know that, you know, you've been just diagnosed with something.
Right. I know someone who had been to several doctors, like their whole lives. So they were like really like a little toddler. All these doctors, and everybody says, "Oh, you're on the spectrum," you know. And then you know the DSM changes, and there's some people who are like really hardcore, and they say, "Well, they go with it, and it's changed." Other people say, "Well, no, I still think that, you know, that was the thing, even though it's not the DSM anymore." And then you get this doctor who says, "Nothing's wrong with you at all. You're just a regular kid."
Yep.
You know, and now you're taking away diagnosis versus, you know, giving one to parents stuff like, what? Like, what are you talking about? I went through all these doctors, everybody says this, my kid acts this way, I can actually, you know, make sense of this. Now you tell me nothing's wrong.
Yep.
And I think that's the trouble when we're speaking about, like, diagnosing people, diagnosing kids. Because kids grow, change, develop.
Yeah.
Like, it's very a tricky place to be. Where one minute you may be displaying this, but when you get older, it's not there anymore.
Yeah.
Because there was something that was happening that was making you display that.
And that's the thing with, you know, medical diagnosis for, like, your body, like, you know, physical, we can do tests for it and give you. And some of them are like, if you show this and this and you do that. Like mine was, if you react, when I got diagnosed that when the symptoms was like, if you react to this when we insert this into you, then that means that you have it.
Yeah.
But like, that could possibly be off. But the majority of the time, they're pretty, you know, you have tests for it. We don't really have tests in the mental health field.
No.
And some of them are subjective to people's opinions of what they think you are or not. And I think the only ones that are kind of like really clear cut, not clear cut, but more, is like schizophrenia or bipolar.
Yeah.
And when you're on like the extreme end of those.
Right.
I think those, and then you take medication and find out that, you know, it's helped you out so much and you're good. Other than that, it's kind of, you know, everybody can make a different diagnosis on you.
Everybody has different assessment.
Yeah.
Because there are, like, you know, scales you can add, like, you know, the numbers up and things like that, and it will mean this, but it's never really exact.
Nope.
It's nothing. I don't think anything is like set in stone. Definitely.
Yeah.
It's not like that. We could say, it's definitely this, but
yeah. I don't know. I mean, it's crazy. I'm trying to go over what you said, but I can't remember what it was.
going to the doctor.
Yeah, just like the medical, and like just different people, different people diagnosing you. It's like, it's crazy. You can go to, everything's so subjective, and then it's subjective also to the therapist's perception of you as a person, whether your factors like your gender, your age, your ethnicity, race, culture, all of that. So there's all these different factors that go into what you really diagnosed at.
Yeah, and not that, you know, we can't, people in our field can't diagnose.
Oh, yeah.
We're not incapable. It's It's just, you know, sometimes what you would present to somebody is going to be different than you present to the other somebody. And we all go off of what you're presenting.
Yeah.
What your behaviors are, what your thoughts are. And so
you can be really high one day with one therapist, and they're like, oh, you seem normal. But the next therapist you see, you're really low. Like, they didn't see that high part of you. They just saw
And
low.
we all know people come in different time of day.
Yep.
People are different time of day. And we see you once a week for, that little period of time. You see them at home. So you usually get like the real you.
Yeah.
Whereas in the office setting, you turn it on for the office. Some people, and it's like it's short. It's not as long. So maybe you can maintain and manage and behave this way for a little bit of time versus if you're at home with a big picture. Because a lot of, part of our diagnosis is the stories that we hear.
Yeah. Exactly.
We don't always see, not at first anyway. We have to do our diagnosis, after the second time we see them.
Yeah.
So, which I don't like. Because I don't know what's going on by the second time I see you. I haven't seen anything. All I know is what these people are telling me.
Yeah, I think that's important for people if you get diagnosed or you're supporting a family member who is getting diagnosed. A lot of times we have to do the diagnosis within the first meeting of you.
Yes.
And you can ask them to reevaluate you. You can ask them, so sometimes I'm not saying the therapist will be wrong or whatever, the doctor's going to be wrong. But sometimes I don't think you can get the full scope of it all in that one time, unless I'm saying, you're on the really high end of, something. So don't freak out right away.
Yeah.
Don't freak out because you could get diagnosed with something and then really it wasn't that at all. It was just something happened that day and you exuded this type of thing, or you said, blah, blah,
this word or something.
Or you only told these type of stories and not these type of stories.
Yeah. I just think, at the end of it, it's important to know you are, who you are as a person. Your name is X, Y, and Z. Your name is not the diagnosis.
Yes.
And I think sometimes it can feel that way. Because I've had parents say, well, what about when they're an adult? Is it going to follow them? Do they have to, put this down on an application? Not everybody. I mean, there's no clear-cut answer for that. You might, but you might not. You might not have that. But regardless of that, there's still so much more, to who you are than just that label. You might have these behaviors, but then you learn how to deal with them. You learn how to cope with them and how to manage them. I don't think that's who you are. You don't have to walk into a room and say, "Hi, I'm bipolar."
Yeah, exactly.
It's just a part of you, just like you have, black, blonde, blue hair.
Yeah.
You have this. It's like if someone has diabetes, they're not going to go in and be like, "Hey, I'm diabetes. How you doing?"
Right. You manage it.
Exactly.
Yes.
Just like anything, you learn to manage it.
Yeah.
That's the most important thing.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you as a loved one manage when you hear that and it's like, the person's been going to therapy or hasn't, but they got that diagnosis. I think it depends what diagnosis.
I try to think of it as, okay, they got this diagnosis, now you know, so you can eliminate everything else that, you thought it was. Now you know it's this, so you know what resources to look for, what to get more access to so that you can get more help, with it.
I think that's important. I think once, your family, you're a loved one, and you find out that your loved one has whatever diagnosis, you research it.
Yeah.
Try to figure out as much as you can so you're informed and not make judgments, because I feel like certain diagnoses you're gonna get oh my god, what in the world, but if you research you can realize, okay, this might not be, we can manage this, we can do this, and even if you can't manage it, there's resources to help you manage it.
Exactly. And I think if you're thinking in terms of a parent who's looking for resources and researching things, make sure if there's a sibling that you involve them, if they're old enough, so that they know. Because sometimes the siblings can say, oh, you have this, or they can make fun of you, or they might not know that they have to adjust too. So it's not just the person and the parent, it's the siblings in the house who also have to make family. Yeah, they have to make adjustments, and it's helpful if they know, what's going on, and if they could be of any help. Are they hurting or helping the situation? So I think everybody needs to be informed. It's not like, you're the person who's diagnosed, not like, they're telling your business or anything. It's just so everybody can work together and be a team. Yeah, be on the same page.
I've had some experience with this. I know someone who's didn't know their brother was on the spectrum.
Yeah.
And found out that he was on the spectrum and was so upset because she would just say, mean things to him, why are you so dumb? All these things that were happening. And she's like, I didn't know. He was just different from everyone. So now she's kind of she's not living with her brother right now, but when she will see, the next time she sees him, she's like, I'm just going to apologize to him because I didn't know. And I think that's why it's so important to keep your entire family in the loop.
Yeah. And to make it not like it's a secret.
Exactly.
Because then that makes it, I don't think secrets are ever good.
No, that makes it more of a stigma and something's wrong with you.
Yeah.
Yep.
I know I had a situation that was kind of opposite. There was these two brothers, and the one brother kept saying, nothing's wrong with him. He's just acting. He's just making up. He just acts that way. And we had to do psychoeducation, with the other brother and teach him about it and watch a video and say, doesn't your brother do some of these things? This is what this means. This is why. And then he, had a lot more, better understanding of it and was like, oh, he does. So that was, I think he had more compassion for his brother because he really thought he was just acting up. He's just different and he's doing these things and nothing's wrong with him. He wants attention. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, it's helpful for the siblings, especially the siblings you're playing together.
Yep.
You're growing up together. You are interacting together a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes sense to know. That's what I got to say about that.
I thought something happened. I was like... What just happened? Erica just put her head down, closed her eyes, and I was like, what's going on?
Oh, it was just a long blink.
No, but you're right. I think everyone needs to, and anybody who is coming into contact within the family, friends, whoever, needs to have some kind of idea of what's going on because if not, people are just going to act crazy and do inappropriate things.
Yeah. I think diagnosis helps too because sometimes you run into the issue where you have one parent say they have it, one parent says they don't. So you get a diagnosis, you've narrowed this thing down, and like we said before, you can look it up, and the other parent, can look it up and kind of say, okay, it does pretty much match the criteria that's on this, so, maybe they do have this. Versus if you can't really pinpoint anything, you're like, well, I told you, it's nothing. If you can't even tell you what it is, they don't even know. It's nothing. So diagnosis can be helpful, in that aspect if you think about it that way.
Yeah. I always think that it's good to find something out versus always just wondering.
Yeah.
I think it's always good to know that, to have that, to go to look up, to get the resources, to have an understanding of yourself, to not, and a lot of times it's like there's things that you do or whatnot that is kind of out of your control.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that helps you to understand, and it also helps your loved one to understand and not take things so personally. Like I have someone I know who is trying to figure out to stay married or not, and he's like, she just does these things that are just like very much out of character. Like she's like, I think she's manipulating, she's malicious, or she's just trying to manipulate me into this, and she just has these responses that are just like, a little crazy. And I said, well, I don't know if because from what you describe, I've never met her, but from what you describe, she sounds pretty like a bipolar to me, and who's never had help. And it seems like she's not malicious and she's not trying to manipulate you, but she really doesn't have that much control over her reactions.
Yeah.
And it helps him to understand it so he doesn't have that resentment towards her.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. I think some things when you say, okay, what to do, what not to do, I don't think it's a good idea to take advantage of the system and say, I have this diagnosis, so I should be able to I have this ability, I should be able to get this, or, I don't think that's a good idea. A lot of people do that. And a lot of people try and get it, through their kids.
Yeah.
Say that they have this, so that they get this income or whatever they get. And another thing is saying you can't do X, Y, and Z because of
using it as a crutch.
Yeah, that's a big one. I don't think you should do that because maybe you can't do it as easily, or in the same way as everybody else. But there's other ways that you can do it. I don't think in anything. I don't think you should ever have the I can't do mentality.
No,
that's true.
Put your mind to it, you can do it.
Yeah,
that is so true. Like Erica's just summing it up.
Yeah. That's I think a very important thing, to not think you can't do stuff. Like you can't go to school, or you can't do this test, or you can't have these friends, or you can't drive this car. I mean, you might not be able to drive the car.
Yeah.
But
there's some things you may not be able to do.
Might be some things you really may not be able to do. But there's not. You're not gonna have a laundry list of it. Like so it's accepting as a loved one and as a person being diagnosed that there's certain things you may not be able to do, but there's a lot of things you will. And don't like sit there and tell yourself, I can't.
Yeah, don't limit yourself. And language is another one, because some of the kids that, you know, I see will say words that you didn't hear from me. And I don't know if you heard from a parent or from a teacher, but, you know, I have special needs, or I have this, I have that.
Yeah.
You're a kid. You know, just be a kid. You don't have to be so focused on what your diagnosis is, or like what your special needs are, what your limitations are. You don't have to be focused on that. But I think that's a reminder for parents and teachers to be aware, you know, of the language they're saying, you know, different words.
I think going off of what you said a little bit last time, like people using their, I guess, mental illness as a crutch, or, you know, I think it's also, we have to say that to the loved ones as well, who may be enabling.
Yeah.
Oh,
big one. That's a big one.
Because, you know, we as loved ones never want to see our loved ones hurting or struggling, things like that. So we kind of run to their rescue, like trying to help them out, or, oh, you have this, so, you know, you can't do this, but you should listen to them. They may be like, yeah, I can, like, I'm fine. Like,
sometimes they'll be like, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I can't.
You know,
exactly. And neither one isn't good.
Exactly. So I think it's really important not to, you know, be as loved ones, hold people back.
Yeah.
And I think this day and age, though, it's a little hard, though, because we went from a time where nobody was really being diagnosed and people were fighting for that to happen and to get their needs met, and now we are over-diagnosing people, and it's like, it's for the liability, it's for this, it's for that, whatever people want to have all the diagnosis for, and, you know, using the system or whatever, but it's also, it's put into place now in schools, in doing with this work, and having this help, and having this, so sometimes you can be over-resourced, and to enable you to not be able to fulfill your full potential. So it's now, it's like, oh, this is how we're going to weed people out. You got this stuff, so we're going to put you in these special classes or do these special things with you, and we'll let you excel because, you know. And I think we're taking too much focus as a society, not just, you know, in our field, but as a society, on the actual diagnosis and what it, you know, can or cannot do with it.
Yeah, you're right.
Everyone's scared or something. I don't know what it is, but...
You're exactly right. Well, I think that's a good place to end. What do you think?
Yeah.
I like that.
All right.
All right, then. If you are an artist and would like us to play your music, or have a product or brand that you would like us to advertise, or if you have any questions or comments, please email us at HeartsChat@HeartsChatRadioShow.com. Be sure to follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Periscope at HeartsChat, and our Instagram at HeartsChatRadio. We post a lot of motivational messages up throughout the day, so if you need a little inspiration or pick-me-up, follow our pages. And for more information on HeartsChat, be sure to visit our website, www.HeartsChatRadioShow.com.
We hope you enjoyed our show today. Tune in every Sunday and Tuesday on HeartsChatRadioShow.com for a new episode of HeartsChat. So don't forget to tune in again at HeartsChatRadioShow.com and check us out.
And visit my blog and ask me all of your relationship questions anonymously at FromErica'sHeart.com. Thank you for listening to HeartsChat, where we speak from the heart. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.